Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Hello. I am so glad that you're here. Today's topic is write your book, become famous, and take a stage. I'm here with Michael Butler. Thank you, Michael, for being here with me.
Hey, it's great to be here tonight with you, Angelica. I've heard lots of great things about your group and the men and women that participate. So happy Friday night wherever you are in the world. And if you're in Australia, happy Saturday afternoon.
Oh wow, yeah. So we're so happy to be here. Michael has launched several businesses ever since he was 15 years old. He ran his own newspaper and he was you were cutting grass. Is that what you were
Yeah,
doing?
you know what I did, Angelica, is I've always been kind of entrepreneurial and before the internet. So we lived 9 miles out in the country. I grew up on a farm in Oklahoma. And so I had the audacious goal to save my money for a lawnmower. And my parents didn't think if I ran an ad in the paper, I'd get any lawns. And I was just very optimistic. And I guess I was a okay copywriter back then. And I ran this ad. It was like, 25 cents a word. And I thought, oh, this is so expensive. It's like $5 for the ad. And I'm praying and crossing my fingers. And I got 14 customers out of that one ad in the local newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden, as an entrepreneur, see, entrepreneurs, we believe the best, reach for the stars, and then reality hits, and we're like, oh no, I don't have a driver's license or a vehicle. I live 9 miles out in the country.
Oh my God. So then you always have the spirit of entrepreneurship, and I also saw that from there you owned a janitorial company, which you grew to
Yeah.
1 million in an annual revenue. I mean, that is so impressive.
Yeah.
So and then now you have a publishing company called Beyond Publishing.
Beyond publishing, yeah. And just like during this pandemic, there's a lot of people that are going to go broke, but there's a lot of people that are going to make millions and even billions. Warren Buffett, he's making billions. He's buying companies right now, and so it's all in the mindset and how you look at it, right?
Right.
And so if you want to launch your own work from home business, you want to do it more than a hobby, because there's a lot of people have hobbies that pay them $300 or $400 a month, but it's not a full-time income, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but if you really aspire to work from home, I mean, and a lot of people are right now, right? We can't go to work. We have to work from home. So it's a big transition. So just like with the lawn mowing business, I had to find a driver. So I hired my brother, and I eventually sold the business to him. But I learned a lot about business back in Boy Scouts and being an Eagle, in the Scouts and going to church and playing baseball with my team. I learned a lot about myself. And I think as an entrepreneur, if we're going to succeed, we need to know what we're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm of the opinion, don't fix your flaws. Don't try to fix your weaknesses. I'm of the opinion, outsource your weaknesses and exploits your strengths. I think all of us are good at 2 or 3 things. And I think if we'll focus on those 2 or 3 things that we're really good at, we can really leave a legacy and make an impact. And that's my feeling on it. But you want to look at trends. You want to look at what makes you happy. You want to look, if you find something you're passionate about that aligns with your core values, then, hey, you're going to have a lot of fun, help a lot of people, and create a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs for people.
Right. And for those of you that are listening either now live or it's the replay, this is the Power Talk, Ask the Expert. And we have Michael Butler. He is the founder of Beyond Publishing. So any questions that you might have, go ahead and ask, because Michael, he's been an entrepreneur ever since he was young. He was 15. He also created, when he was very young, a janitorial company that made millions. And we're talking about uncertainty right now. I mean, there's a lot of people that lost jobs. Some of them are going back to work right now, but then some might not, Michael. And you're talking about something that's powerful. Like, people have to tap into those gifts or passions that they have. And it might be 1 or 2 that you talked about. And then how can they tap into that gift and then turn it into profit, like you did?
Well, if you were in the if you were in the horse and buggy business back in 1898,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a guy up in Michigan by the name of Henry, and he was telling you that he's going to revolutionize, and he's telling his friends and his investors that in a few years every American's going to be driving a car, and maybe you're in the horse and buggies, and maybe you're providing tack for horses, saddles and bridles, and maybe you're shoeing horses as a blacksmith, and that's paying the bills. And maybe you're making in 1898 the equivalent of a six-figure salary, and hey, things are fine and you're happy. Then all of a sudden the prophecy is true. What Hank says comes to pass, and that is horse and buggies are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you didn't innovate, and I think there's a lot of business owners, I think there's a lot of churches, let me scratch my back here,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of churches that didn't innovate and stream their services because they were afraid if they did it 6 months or a year ago, people would stop coming to their congregations and stop making donations.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, the reverse was true. The churches that were on the front end of the streaming trend brought in the most income and made the most impact during this pandemic because they were on the front end of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are two things we need in our business. We need high tech and we need high touch. A lot of us think that if we have high tech that we're giving up high touch, but we don't have to give it up. We can actually have them both. Even though they're polar opposites, they complement each other. So just ask yourself in your business, what is an area? And maybe it's customer appreciation. Maybe it's customer rewards, where you have a rewards program for your customers, where you do text reminders, you have contests, you do Facebook contests, social media shares when they use your hashtag. There's all kinds of incentives to get your customers talking about you. And speaking of Ford, he said, the CMO of Ford said recently that it's not enough for us to talk about ourselves and our brand. The customer must be talking about us and saying good things. So, social media is a great platform, Angelica, but some people, they look at it as a big bullhorn, and they're always broadcasting, but it's not enough for us to talk about ourselves. We want to ask questions, we want to engage, we want to pull people in. So
And I think that one of the ways that you have, and I think it's like a brilliant idea, where people always have a book hidden within themselves and they haven't given it birth. Like, how can a person tap into that book that they're carrying inside them, that they've always wanted to write, but then, I don't know, there's something that holds them back. Like, how do we get them to start writing, Michael?
Well, it's a great question. We've published 350 titles in the last 2 years, and primarily women authors. And the best thing about having a book is it gives you credibility. Now, Forbes Riley, she has sold $2.5 billion on the Home Shopping Network, selling other people's products and selling her own products. But she loves books. She does books. Here's the thing: most people don't make a lot of money doing books because the book's kind of a lost leader. And this is a book on health where you can journal. It's got dieting and exercise and all that, full color, very beautiful, very expensive hardcover stuff. But what she's done is she's made courses out of all of her books. And I got to be honest with you, is during this pandemic, dozens of our authors, women business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, direct sales, mortgage, real estate, have taken their book and created online courses during this pandemic. Because you take a book that you would sell for $20, and this is one of our authors, Samantha Buckley Hugeson in Cabo, Mexico, and she's a coach. And she's a life coach, and for years she worked for corporate, but she wanted to call her own shots and be an entrepreneur. So she's written a book, but she's got coaching programs around all of her books where she can take clients through assessments and hook them up on customized programs that are tailor fit for them. And you take a book that you sold for $20, that's great, but you can sell that coaching program as an online course, for $900, and you can sell it as a 12-month executive mastermind program for $20,000. And so books are just one vehicle. It's kind of like, I tell people, it's like, we've been ordering a lot of carry out food during the pandemic, right?
Right.
And the book is kind of like having pizza delivered to your door. It's like having a healthy meal. Pizza's probably not too healthy.
I love that though.
but the book is just, it's just a delivery vehicle. What we want to do is we want to make our content consumable. And as business owners that are going to thrive, if we're going to get found on the internet and really thrive, we're going to want to create lots of content, particularly lots of video content, where we're not selling, but we're doing what you're doing now is you're doing an interview. So you're providing this valuable interview and information that will live online, on Facebook, on YouTube, on all the social media forever. And you're going to get indexed by Google, and that's going to help potential customers find you forever.
Right.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are joining right now, or you are watching the replay, this is the Power Talk. It's Ask the Expert. And with us, we have Michael Butler, who is the founder of Beyond Publishing. So ask your questions. This is your time. If you've dreamed about writing a book and becoming famous and being on stage, Michael has the right tips for you. So ask any questions. He's here and we'll come back and answer. Now, Michael, we talked about everybody having that book within themselves, and we talked about that they could write the book, but at the same time, they can create an online course that's attached to the book and really monetize, right?
Yeah.
In so many ways. Now, I know that I often heard that a book can also be like a business card. What would you say about that, and how would you add value instead of a business card?
Yeah. I think a book is the best business card. And in fact, I'm just putting a note here in our chat. Go ahead and leave a comment. Hey, Ragna's watching. Hey, how you doing? And she's a mover and shaker. Isn't she amazing? So I put in here actually some links for some free things we're going to give away, which is like the free book on how to write a best-selling book. I'm giving you that for free. There's the link right there. You can go get it at beyondpublishing.net/free book. And that's the book on how to become a bestseller. Really, a book is the best business card because it lives on in infamy. Mm-hmm. And when we put your book up into global distribution, anybody that's watching an interview in Australia, South Africa, Europe, New York, anywhere in the world can buy your book, have it on their doorstep, or have it on their phone within seconds reading your content.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the beauty about a book. I mean, like you said, we can have it in an audio format. It could be in an ebook format. It could be in the hardcover. I mean, a writer, an author can have it in so many formats, and he can actually get his message out. Why is it important that people get their message out to people? I mean, to the universe, to people out there.
Well, when you think about the ripple effect, the other day I was at the lake. I didn't mean to flood your stream here. That's so much content with my free offers, but it's there on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I was at the lake. I've got a place on the lake in Oklahoma. It's 84 steps from the water where my family fishes, and so my grandson and I were there with his dad and my mom, and he's 7, and we were skipping rocks there on the lake. And when you throw a rock in, it creates a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. And I just love that. So peaceful, right? But when you think about words that you speak, I'm not a scientist, but I remember in high school in science class that when you sing or when you speak, the reason we can hear you is it's the airwaves. You're speaking a word that carries a frequency that does something. And the power to create life is in your tongue. And also, just like the saying, sticks and stones can break your bones, it's true. We can truly hurt people with our words. But I'd rather speak life with my words, and I can put words of help, healing, and hope in a book that are going to give people practical, tactical takeaways to change their life forever. Mm-hmm. Because if you're writing a nonfiction book, the fastest moving category, the highest sales is how-to book. It's how to recover from divorce, how to escape bankruptcy, how to raise kids as a single parent, how to retire early, how to fall in love, how to make $1 billion. All those are books, and they're how-tos that people are typing into Google. And then if that's what your brand is around that, and I know you've got a lot of speakers, you've got a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners who are speakers. So if you pick a lane and you pick one or two things, maybe you're a realtor, okay? And if you go to a chamber networking event and there's 8 realtors there, and you're new in town, and you go home and you show your spouse or your business partner it's time to shop for a house you've just moved, and you've got 8 business cards from realtors, but you've got one book from a real estate agent that's going to tell you how to improve your credit, how to stage your home, how to get approved for the mortgage, what to look for, and all this stuff. Who do you think they're going to come to? They're going to come to the real estate agent with the book, right?
Right. Exactly.
Establishing credibility. It establishes, I mean, if I'm a dentist or a chiropractor, I want my book, my coffee table book laying on the coffee table. So when the patient is filling out the intake form, they see it there. It establishes credibility. It's got client testimonials in here. I feel a little better at ease. They published a book. People are saying good things about them. That's third-party credibility. And all the while they're sitting in the waiting room.
Absolutely. And again, if you're watching, this is the Power Talk, Ask the Expert. We have Michael Butler here. So he is the founder of Beyond Publishing. So if you have any questions regarding how do you write a book? Why should we write a book? How can you get started? A lot of people want to become famous and they want to be on a stage, Michael. And writing a book is one of those vehicles that takes you from writing a book, delivering your message, and then, positioning yourself to get more visibility, to be known, and be on a stage. Tell us more. I mean, what are the possibilities?
Well, I've had so many of my authors over the last 2 years tell me that they've gotten podcast interviews, radio interviews, local media have called them, Good Morning Arizona, Good Morning San Antonio, just Good Morning Texas. We've had a lot of clients get on local and regional and even national. We've had clients on Dr. Phil, Fox News, CNN. If you want to be on a major news story, A, you've got to have something to say. B, you've got to have a book. And C, you've already got to be proven in a local market. See, you're not going to get called to the Today Show or Good Morning America unless you've aced your interview on Good Morning Tucson. And if the producer can see that you've been on Good Morning Tucson and Good Morning Scottsdale and Good Morning San Antonio, you're going to get that phone call. And the way to get on Good Morning Dallas and the way to get on Good Morning Texas is to get some of these type of interviews under your belt. Now, the beautiful thing about the virtual world during the pandemic is all of a sudden you're a movie producer. You're a journalist. I've been saying it for years. People are the new media. And I used to say everybody needs to write a book and think like a publisher. But the last 10 years, I've been saying everybody needs to think like a movie producer, and that you're just filling content with your shows. You're syndicating content on your channel. So if you really want to become famous, you find somebody that's a health expert, somebody that's a finance expert, somebody that's a relationship expert, and you go interview them and put them on your show, and you put it on your YouTube, your Instagram, your Facebook, and of course you put it on your website. Here's what's so funny, Angelica. We'll get a call from a New York Times best-selling author that's in tears because they're in Seattle or Tacoma at a book signing at a Barnes & Noble and only 5 people showed up, right? But then you go Google their name and it's somebody that should have their own website. And here's an article over here, Halifax News, and here's an article over here 2 months ago, and they're all spread out. They don't even own their own domain with their .com. So if you're going to succeed as a business owner, you want to act like a media conglomerate. You want to buy yourname.com, your businessname.com, and have a strategy around producing content that's going to help people that you're really passionate about. And that will bring an endless stream of leads, referrals, and business to you all day long.
Absolutely. And I always tell the clients that I work with, I always tell them, like, someone is waiting for your message. Someone is waiting for you to come and help them and deliver the strategy, the answers that they've been
Mhm.
waiting for. And you're the person. But if you're holding
Absolutely.
back, how are they ever going to get that message, right?
Well, the mammals, that's actually how they communicate. You look at the dolphins, and it's fun to go pet the dolphins and swim
Mhm.
with the dolphins and everything. That's how they communicate with each other. Other schools of fish, when they're having little networking parties and they're throwing business launch parties and launching books, they throw out the sonar. And when they're looking for food, they're looking for schools of fish. They put out the sonar because they can't see with these eyes, but they can see with the eyes in here, and they throw it out. And then whatever comes back at them, they know. So you walk into this chamber event and you're new business owner in town, and you look around the room of 100 people, and you don't look with these eyes, but you listen in here, and you look at people, and it's actually like speed reading people, which
Mhm.
is awesome to have in business, right? And
Absolutely.
instead of throwing out 36 business cards, you get 3 or 4 quality people like you, like Ragna, that
Mhm.
all of a sudden you become JV partners with, and you're like, hey, we can create some win-wins because we connected not just for a transaction, but a transformation that can last for decades to change the world together.
And that's what people are looking for. They're looking for solutions. They're looking for you. So if you are just joining, watch the whole video. Go back and watch it. Type hashtag replay. And the most important thing is ask questions. This whole topic is the power talk. Ask the expert. And with me, I have Michael Butler. He is the founder of Beyond Publishing. So if you ever wanted to write a book, become famous, be on the stage, this is your chance to ask the questions. We're going to come back and look for your questions. So we will answer them. Now, Michael, where can people find you? I know you placed the link here, and why should they really come and find you and look for you?
Yeah, you know what? We've got some free offers we're going to give everybody. We put 3 or 4 free things on the wall. But before I give you that, the printing press brought us out of the dark ages. So you think about this. Content helps people. And when you tell your story, like Angelica said, it's going to touch somebody's life, but it's also going to live on forever. The words we speak go into the universe forever to create life or death. And so the words we write in a book are going to last forever. They go to the Library of Congress. They go into the libraries of the world, but also they're accessed by Google.
Mhm.
Google and all the search engines will find your keywords. That's the reason why when we help somebody publish a book, it's all about their title and their subtitle, because every one of your chapter titles can help become a workshop that you deliver, a keynote, a coaching program that you actually make money with. Every chapter in your book, it's not just words on a page, it's something you can monetize, okay? And so people can find me. They're on your website. I gave a couple of free offers.
Okay.
We're doing a free 60-day writing course if somebody wants to write their book. It's totally free. It's an 8-week program. It starts May the 8th, and they have to go through an interview process. Even though it's free, I just have to do an interview and see if it's a good fit. Might not be the right time for them. It might be off topic because it's for nonfiction, and it does not include children's books. Okay, so it's
Mhm.
strictly nonfiction this go around. We'll have less than 20 students, and we do a lot of one-on-one with you. But if you can commit 8 hours a week, and we can help you get your book knocked out in 60 days. And so I left that link, writebook60days.com. But also my free book that's helped hundreds of people write their bestseller on their own is beyondpublishing.net/free book. This book, bestseller status, will show you the formula that I use as given 3,000 paid speaking events over the last 30 years. Giving a paid speech is very similar to writing a sellable book, and I show you how to do it with the formula. We actually give you in the 8-week course, every week we talk about a different topic, like choosing the title and subtitle, doing the market research for your book. We talk about how to write a book backwards, how to include hooks to keep the reader turning the page.
Mm.
And my favorite one is the week I give you my secret sauce, which is the 5 things you need, the 5 key components to writing a chapter quickly. And it's from giving 3,000 paid speaking gigs over the last 30 years. I use the same components in public speaking that I've taught for years that we teach in our writing course. And so if your students want to attend that, they can inquire there at writebook60days.com. And then also we're giving away a free scholarship, Angelica. If somebody wants to get published and they've got a book idea, a solid book idea, then they can submit it. It's open for another 30 days to submissions. They'll need to get in quickly because we've had hundreds of people apply at beyondpublishing.net/apply for scholarship. So it's on the homepage of beyondpublishing.net. And that's how to get a hold of me. Reach out. And we would love to give you feedback on your book. People have called me the Simon Cowell of book publishing because we're not afraid to tell you your baby looks ugly. We'd much rather you hear that on the front end. We're going to say it with love so that you're not embarrassed when you launch the book. We've launched 350 books in the last 2 years all over the world, many of them bestsellers. And we've won many awards, and we have authors on nearly 20 different countries. So if you've had it in your heart to write a book, we're actually like the book Midwife. We help you give birth to this thing.
Deliver it. So if you are that person that has a book that hasn't been birthed, this is your chance to connect with Michael Butler. He's amazing. I've connected with him. Michael, it's just really briefly, I'm collaborating with the Latin community.
Yeah.
We're writing a Spanish book, and that's how I connected with Michael. We are writing anthology books. So for you, if you are a Latino, Spanish-speaking person that would love to write a book, this is your chance. Sometimes writing anthologies, Michael, is a lot easier because it's faster. It's maybe 6 to 8 pages.
Yeah.
And it's a starting point. What would you say about somebody who's writing an anthology?
Well, it's very smart, and because we leverage each other's marketing. And so if you haven't done your own book yet, a good way to get started toward doing your own book is to contribute a chapter in an anthology book. That's where we take multiple authors, put into the same book, make it a bestseller. You've got a beautiful concept. We're working on a beautiful cover design and actually a launch strategy around speaking, interviews, live events, even a major event in Guadalajara in December. And I don't know if it's filled up yet or if you got 1 or 2 more slots, but
we'll have slots, so come on in.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's a great way to get recognized and get your name out there. Plus, all your authors are going to be able to sell the book and make money at their events and carry the book and share with people, just to establish credibility and also have a great, amazing time together networking, right? So we've got authors from all over the world coming together. We're doing virtual Zooms, and then we're also going to be doing live events. So it's a win-win. These are women and men that want to help you and support you in what you're doing in your business of touching people.
It is. It's an exciting moment. A lot of people are shutting down right now thinking it's lockdown, be home, do nothing, shut down. Maybe some of them are falling into the fear. But I'm telling you, here's Ragne. Hey, Ragne, good to see you here. And
we're excited too.
Yeah, we're excited. Ragne is part of my collaborative effort in writing the Latino book. So those of you that are interested, come and join me if you want the English version. Michael is a wonderful person to connect with when it comes to publishing, and he's offering you so many free opportunities. They'll write a book in 60 days. So you'll find the link below, the beyondpublishing.net free book. And then he's giving away scholarships. So, but you have to apply in order to see if you qualify. And this whole concept is power talk. Ask the expert. So we're going to come back. And right now, if you have any burning questions that you want to be answered, this is your opportunity. Type them right here, and Michael and I will either come back and read them and answer them, or we can answer them now. So we all have a book, we all have a message, and that's a way to position ourselves and gain more visibility, more credibility. And I don't know, Michael, anything else that you'd like to kind of add before we leave for?
Well, it's really the way to own a space. Okay, if you wanted to own the space, I was fortunate enough to be in the Dave Ramsey studio recently with one of our clients that was recording podcast in the Dave Ramsey studio in Nashville. And Dave's all about the finance. He's the financial guy. So if you want to be known for a topic like finances and money, you want to get around Dave Ramsey. If you want to be the relationship expert, you get around relationship experts. And one of the best ways to get them is to interview them on your show. And so that's what you're doing here. And you can almost get a photograph with anybody in the world if you're willing to wait in line long enough to buy their book. So when the bookstores open back up, go get in line with your favorite author. And I've done this with dozens and dozens over the years, is get in line, buy the book, get the signature, and now snap the selfie. And so it's very important. And then while you're there, ask for the interview. Say, hey, I run a podcast on health and wellness. I want you on my show. Who do I talk to about getting you on my show? And they'll tell you who to talk to. So big celebrities are approachable. They love it. Just reach out, go through the proper channels, and you can really get anyone you want if you're patient enough and willing to pay the price. But they love hustle, and they love helping, and they love paying it back. So I just wish you the best on your efforts. And I'll share my phone number in the chat. Text me, and if we want to set up a 15-minute discovery to see if you've got a book potential, I'd be happy to talk with you. And we're doing something special for Dr. Underwood's group with Angelica. She's worked out something special with us, and so we'll give you some favors since you know her. Thank you so much. Great to be on your show.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. And make sure that you ask questions below, and we'll come back to see them. You have an amazing evening, morning, or day, wherever you're at. I will see you next Friday at 8 p.m. Central with Power Talk. Ask the expert. I will see you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you, Michael.
Great time. Well, that was fun.